Hello again. I am super tired still, and I'm not going to get into a chair because I really like cuddling my kitty. And I don't know, I feel like she's been kind of sick lately, so I'm taking her to the vet soon. But for now, I'm just going to cuddle her. And, I took a nap earlier, and then I woke up thinking more about, a video I want to make. As I said in my last video, I've just kind of been a little torn on what I should do with my life and with this my life in general and this YouTube channel in specific. So I decided that I'm just going to go for it, and I am going to talk about things that interest me or random thoughts that I'm having. And today's random thought is about how Freud would have absolutely loved the back rooms and liminal spaces. So, what do I mean by any of that? Well, okay, this is actually a very uncomfortable position to lie in. Okay, so, for those of you who do not know, the uncanny, as Freud describes it, is from a 1919 essay where he focuses on the etymology of the words Heimlich and Unheimlich, and I probably said those both wrong, but we're going to move on because I'm not German. So, when he focuses on the etymology of those words, he focuses on their seemingly contradicting definitions of what is homely and what is familiar, but also what is concealed and hidden and what is unnerving. And it resonates strongly in this idea of what is familiar and terrifying at the same time, because usually what we find horrifying is not what is unfamiliar to us or what is like incomprehensible to us. And yes, this is me subtweeting Lovecraft horror. Another video about that one day. But rather, what is familiar to us and what specifically will bring us back to childhood and our fears of childhood, because Freud will say it and I will say it, childhood was terrifying. Childhood is when you were never smaller, you were never more uncertain about how the world worked, and yet you were forced into it. When you're a child, there is so much to be afraid of because there's so much that you don't know. And I think that's why a lot of horror movie tropes always involve imaginary friends or creepy dolls or nursery rhymes or anything to do with childhood, because we for some reason get scared when we think back to it. Okay, I lost you guys for a sec. Well, okay. So, that's Freud. That's the uncanny. What are liminal spaces? Liminal spaces, if you are not on TikTok or you somehow missed that trend of YouTube videos that are all eerily familiar images with unnerving music in the background, that I have seen all of them at least twice. Liminal spaces it has turned into an umbrella term that means creepy. And I do not want to police words, and I understand language evolves and words evolve and definitions evolve. But I think it's very important to remember that when liminal spaces were first popping up, it was very big in the fact that it has to do with transitions. It has to do with the constant state of transitioning. It's about a place that you do not remain in, because the state of transition breeds familiarity without intimacy. We can recognize the place and we have these like half-formed memories of the places, but it's very dependent on context. It's not, and it's otherwise just a shadowy half memory, as I said. Like, the best examples of liminal spaces are like, I say like too often, I know that. The best examples of liminal spaces are places such as a poorly, like a school hallway that you didn't go down very often, or it is a drive-in, the line or a line at a drive. Do you know what I'm talking about? A line at like a fast food drive-through, or it is the parking lot of a motel at night. It is, again, a place that you have been to, most likely, but that you didn't stay in. You were there for a very short amount of time. Can I hold you? Oh, look at this fluffer. So a bad example, if you ask me, of a liminal space would be like Five Nights at Freddy's after hours children's restaurant, children's arcade restaurant, or a poorly lit hallway or a poorly lit library. And when I say bad, I vibe with those pictures. Do not get me wrong. But what I mean is, it does not have to do with the transition. It is conflated a lot with what liminal spaces are because they invoke a very similar sense of unease and a sense of discomfort and loneliness. And those three traits are very important, I feel, to how we feel when we look at a liminal space and how we feel when we talk about the uncanny. But it's not in and of itself the same as a liminal space. And I think it's a distinction worth having. Oh, I know. Okay, there you go. Have your chew toy. What the heck was I just saying? Oh, the best part is I can't edit these, so I'm not going to be able to skip over this part. Okay, in conclusion, I think that Freud would have loved the back rooms and loved liminal. Oh, I have not explained what the back rooms are, have I? Okay, so if I had good video editing skills, I would show you a picture of what the back rooms look like. But I do not have good video editing skills, so please Google it yourself. Back rooms, one word. The back rooms began as a picture circulated on, I believe, Reddit, something like that. That was of this oddly lit hall, like basement room with these like sort of shelves, but it was very out in the open, and it was talking about this feeling that you are lost in the back rooms, like you made a wrong turn and suddenly you can't get out of there. You find yourself in, I guess, another world. What is great about the back rooms and about liminal spaces, and a thing I think Freud would appreciate, is the way they are getting you on, they are capitalizing on a fear of being lost and overexposed. You know, the back rooms, you are largely left out in the open. And people, I think, forget sometimes or don't truly appreciate that is a big factor in, like, that is a thing that is actually terrifying and that we are all kind of afraid of, is being completely out in the open with no place to hide. I don't think horror movies realize how how good that is a great trope to use. Being completely, anyone can see you, you were being hunted, that sort of feeling. And it also is grabbing you again on just, like, I don't know, we all had one human experience, right? So does anyone remember, like, when you were a kid and you, like, visited your dad's office and you got lost in the hallway trying to find the bathroom? Or when you were at school after hours for some reason, I guess parent-teacher conference or whatever, and you're walking through the hallway and it just feels huge and you feel so insignificant and tiny, and this feeling that it's going on forever. And that's, again, something Freud would love. R.I.P. Freud, you would have loved the liminal spaces. And what it's all doing is it's all tying back to, again, our childhood fear of being lost and alone. And when I say alone, I don't just mean like we don't have our parents anymore, we don't have our family anymore. I mean we don't have anybody anymore. Like, there is not another soul in sight. Even like, not even like a stranger danger type figure is there. Like, there's nobody there. But of course, as I said before, that fear of being overexposed and hunted, you don't really think you're alone. You seem alone. There's this appearance that you're alone, but you don't think you're alone. And that's what's so truly scary about not just liminal spaces and back rooms and Freud, but about when you're alone in your apartment at night and you hear a weird noise. It's not that you're afraid because you're alone. You're afraid because you suddenly don't think you're alone. You know? Anyway, I have lost the plot of what I was trying to say, but as I said in my last video, I want to try to make content that's just about things I'm interested in, where I just talk for a little bit. So I feel I succeeded in that. And I now have to continue my grad school paper on The Road Through the Wall and The Little Girl Who Lived Down the Lane. I don't know what I'm writing about yet. I'm just seeing what happens, which I guess is what all these YouTube videos are. I mean, I guess could be defined as my style. I just figure it out after the fact. Anyway, yeah, thanks for listening to this, whoever was here. Bye.